Hey, wake up.
Okay. All right.
First of all,
Wait a minute. What are those? Okay, I like those.
Those are
shoes.
shiny
Noelle,
shoes
Noelle
you got there.
got these
Okay.
for me, and she didn't think that I'd ever wear them. But so I wear a lot of Uggs.
Mm-hmm.
These are like half the weight of an Ugg. It's like walking on a pillow.
Yeah, but it looks like you're walking on a pillow in space.
I am. I am a space creature. Just remember that. Secondly, we're going to the movies.
I know. I saw that.
And Mo called the Amazon lawyers morons. Just FYI.
Yeah, dude. You might be getting another letter about that podcast.
You lost.
I can't believe it. Wait, are we playing?
Yeah, no, we're live, buddy.
Oh. Okay. Wait a minute. I need to talk to the lawyers and confirm this. There is no way there's no way.
You lost. You already
That
lost.
was pretty clear in that letter.
Very clear.
That seemed very clear to me. We won't have it for a little while. Means
Here's the dates for the deposition, which you can take.
Here we are going to have them available.
They ordered surveillance. This is true.
My heart breaks.
Yeah, whatever. It's just par for the course.
I can't believe it. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about the Minnesota shooting.
Yeah, again.
I got a fact wrong. I got a couple of facts wrong.
Well, we all did.
Renee's wife was not in the car. So I went back and I looked at
Wait a minute. First stop.
Renee's.
Wait. How does it feel to have publicly told the world that she was in the car and now you have to recant?
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I'm okay with making mistakes.
We're not saying that we're professional media figures.
Yeah.
You know? We just
This is a podcast. But I own what I do incorrectly. I have no problem with
Even
that.
in
Do
court.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
Oh,
my
all the
point is
time.
like, we're not perfect.
No.
No. I don't mind owning what I do wrong.
Yeah.
No. But I went and looked at what I'm going to say to source. I went to PBS because I think PBS is fairly good recounter of facts. So here's the PBS
I thought
facts.
PBS was out of business now.
No, they're still there.
They've been defunded.
Okay. What the video shows per PBS is that the bystander video shows Good's SUV stopped in the middle of a snowy street while two officers approach. One tries the driver's door and reaches into the car as it starts to move, while a third officer walks directly in front of the SUV with his gun drawn. As the vehicle moves forward, the officer in front appears to be knocked backward but not run over, and then fires at least 2 shots through the windshield. The SUV then accelerates toward the curb and collides with parked cars. Additional video obtained by PBS shows a prior confrontation in which Good and her wife exchanged heated words with ICE agents near a school, footage that PBS says was allegedly recorded by the same ICE officer who later fired the fatal shots.
Okay. Well, there has been some developments since we last talked about the ICE shooting, and that is that the estate, the wife, hired a plaintiff firm.
Yes.
In fact, a great plaintiff firm. Tony Romanucci's firm, he was president of AAJ a couple years ago, and they were involved in George Floyd, of course, and they are just a great firm when it comes to excessive force, wrongful death, killings out of Chicago. And they had an autopsy done. Did you read this?
I'm not familiar with these facts. I just read the facts of the shooting.
And the autopsy showed 3 wounds on the body. One, 2 of them non-fatal. One was, now I can't remember, like through the shoulder or something. 2 benign shootings, or that she would have survived, and then a shot to the head. That was the killer shot. And they hired their own medical examiner to do that. The official medical exam still hasn't occurred yet. And so in criminal cases, in police shooting cases, in certain wrongful death cases, medical negligence cases sometimes, if we're lucky enough to get the body, and I'm sorry that it sounds gruesome, but that's what we do. don't always wait for the official medical examiner. Don't always trust the fact that you're going to be suing a government and they're paying for that same medical examiner, or you're suing a hospital and they're paying for that medical examiner to live. So, and sometimes, there's a disagreement. So that's why this firm had a separate medical examiner.
Which I think was smart. Mm-hmm. It was very smart. And I suspect that the autopsy report is going to, the cause of death is going to be not just the manner of death is going to be homicide.
Well, so now we always see that.
But it makes people go, homicide?
I know when people will hear cause of death is homicide,
No,
and they'll think someone murdered them, which honestly, someone did murder them, but there's legally justifiable murder, and then there's the criminal murder that we're familiar with. So what does homicide mean, Mo, since you dealt with it so often?
All it means is death at the hands of another. Mm-hmm. That's what it means. But, how it happened determines whether it's a crime or unlawful or not.
Yeah, there were a lot of reporting sensationalizes death by homicide when there's nothing to sensationalize. It's just, that's a technical term. Yeah. Did you know that, Mike?
I did. It was I saw something recently like that in the media where they said that somebody had internal bleeding, and it was just a bruise.
Oh.
Like not even a big bruise.
Yeah.
They had just gotten some bruises from falling down.
Okay.
So another way that the media sensationalizes stuff that's happened without it really being something. Like homicide's like you said, a term for another person killing somebody else.
Yeah.
But because of TV and movies and stuff, everybody
homicide?
attributes it with murder, meaning murder, criminal murder, not justified murder.
Well, you would think that since that incident happened, that ICE would be kind of dialing down and people would be pausing and, there'd be some reevaluation, some thoughtful looks at what happened here to make sure that it didn't happen again, some, public restoration of trust, some kind of just even a symbolic gesture of kindness to the community, the family of this woman who was really executed in the streets. You would think that would occur, but instead, what has happened?
Nothing has happened.
Oh, no.
But it's gotten worse. There's been another shooting, and the administration is doubling down on what happened and justifying what happened.
Well, it's even worse. Just even last night, just in two headlines, one, they were detaining the children. They were going to the school and detaining children to use as bait to get the parents, which is grotesque in a civilized society or an uncivilized society. It's gross. And number two, as we talked about also, they are now escalating the use of warrantless searches.
They're out of control. What's crazy is that the Obama administration deported more people.
No, I know. That's what I said.
Right?
Yeah.
But they didn't do it like this.
No.
And that's one thing that's like pretty telling, that there's more than meets the eye about what the pretext is of what's happening right now. The second thing is that the officers, and somebody called me yesterday. They wanted me to consult with them, give them some advice on a case. And it's a case involving here in the state of Washington, and a bunch of ICE officers assaulting somebody.
Shocker, newsflash.
Okay.
Not.
And all of them were carrying body cams, but the body cams were not turned on, and they didn't know that there was a camera capturing the entire incident. And so this person was investigating the case and had identified the ICE agents by name. And it's fairly easy to find out what the professional history of an ICE agent is. And what was revealed was that these aren't traditional Homeland Security agents. And it's important for people to understand the distinction. The Department of Homeland Security has multiple agencies within, like departments within, that conduct investigations. Department of Homeland Security agents who execute enforcement initiatives internally, like in the U.S., in the cities, these are not those individuals. These are individuals who are stationed at the border, and their primary training and task is border protection. And now they have been removed and asked to marshal their resources for domestic policing. These guys are not trained for this. They have no training for this. So these are untrained people.
Wait a minute. The last time we talked about this, you talked about how trained they were.
No, I didn't say they were trained. I said that. Oh, you know what? Yes,
you did say they were trained.
That.
You said they were trained in the use of deadly force and how to administrate it.
Yeah, hold me to it, because what I didn't know, which is what I learned yesterday, is that when I was being told, no, these are Border Patrol guys, and I was like, wait a minute, these guys aren't trained in arresting citizens. They're not even trained in the Fourth Amendment, really. These guys are like
secret police that are being sent onto the streets to do what the administration wants them to do.
I mean, this is
illegally.
This is a recipe for disaster.
Oh, we're already past that.
Wait.
That's what I was saying last time.
I didn't know that. And I just was
party.
like, and I asked, like, hey, what's the jacket on these guys? Like, tell me a little bit about these guys. He's like, yeah, I ran them down. And like, this is, these guys are, and I was like, holy Moses. That's crazy.
Why do you think people are afraid when they say that the National Guard is going to be backing those guys up? Because they are soldiers who are trained to kill, not to deal with citizens like police are. This is the problem with this.
Yeah.
So if anybody wonders why people are getting killed, it's that.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to bring cases. We're supposed to do what my advice was to this lawyer. I was like, you have to have hearings. You have to put people on the stand. You have to get their personnel files, and you have to use the tools that you have to bring these facts to light so that judges learn about it, lawyers learn about it, the public learns about it, because, and this is really, but this is, but this.
How is this? We've already been doing that. The judges already know. The judges are not happy. So what? And then they get overruled, and then
all the judges that have done stuff about this, it's gone to the Supreme Court and it's got turned back on them. So, like to say, the only thing I can think is that in a civil disobedience action, that plaintiffs' lawyers start just avalanching the government with cases until somebody in the government decides they actually have to do something about it, because our elected officials aren't doing shit about this. They're sitting around and letting it happen. And that's on both sides.
And you can't do it in the state courts. It would only be federal courts. And the federal courts are already overwhelmed.
So when you keep
overwhelming more is what I say. Shut them down.
Okay, but
make it so nothing happens until somebody actually fucking does something.
But the problem is the courts are the only thing doing anything. And,
I don't care, Karen.
But listen,
jam them up until somebody actually thinks about something.
But that plays into Trump. He wants our
courts
shut down.
Let's play their battle. Let's fight them on their level, because that's what we have to do.
I mean, honestly, Mike, some people would say that the only thing that can be done is to have a revolution and overthrow the.
That's exactly what's going to have to happen if it continues this way.
But I honestly think that like this administration's, because when I think about like how many people Obama deported, and more than this administration, how they're doing this is to make people hate the government.
Exactly.
I think that their intention is to make people hate the government, but they're not. But this administration, we're a republic. Every 4 years, everybody we get a new election. Every 2 years, we have an election, and things transition. What they're trying to do is make people lose faith in the government. What I'm talking about is that I go back and think about like, when has something happened that has like disgusted us as a society that the government has done? I go to Abu Ghraib, I go to Guantanamo, and I go back, and then I go to, the Vietnam War. And it was the public airing of facts, okay, which allowed a future government to say never again. And there are changes made. And so there are hearings, and people are held to account. We have to have a public recording of the facts. We have to go to court and let the facts be recorded, because I don't suspect we're going to get this administration to change its policy. But what we can do is vote, and with a new administration come back and say, we want a public vetting of what happened, why it happened, and we want safeguards put into place so it never happens again. The alternative, honestly, is that, like, if you lose complete faith in the government, then that is how despots and autocrats come into power. This is precisely what people in power want. They want people to lose faith in the process that they have access to. Because then the powerless, the only way they have is to file lawsuits, to march, to protest. They want to say these things that we give you, they're meaningless. And so, that's, I'm Mike, I totally feel what you're saying. It's like frustrating, that flip it. I'm done.
Well, it's not just that. I believe that at this point, we've got to make drastic changes to the Constitution and our government, because we are not protected the way that we always thought that we were. And I think that the public has already lost faith in the government, and it's been that way for a while now. And I don't think that I think that if you look at the fact that we've just recently seen the government killing people in the streets, that I only think unless there's a major action, and it's got to shock the public into thinking about it, because this isn't the first time this stuff's happened. If you go back to World War II, they took Asian Americans and put them into camps. Now they're doing that again, and people are doing the same thing they did back then, kind of sitting back and letting it happen.
History repeats itself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a really depressing subject. There is no good answer, and I think we should end this podcast. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.